We're here at the World Cafe Live with Mick and Kevin, also known as the Guggenheim Grotto. Welcome back to Philadelphia.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, Susan.
Like so many emerging artists, Philadelphia is a pretty big town for them, a special town for them. And I know that David Dye and XPM was pretty instrumental early on with you guys. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
Well, we've been emerging for a long while now, haven't we? It was like, you know, there's like 48 hours of labour.
48 months.
Yeah, when we came over first in 2006, we came over because we were getting played by David Dye in WXPN. It was a huge thing. We really had set our sights only on Dublin, you know, it was one step at a time. And unbeknownst to us, we started getting played over here, and then found out we were getting played over here.
Was it the first city in America that was playing you?
It was a joint tie between Philadelphia and LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as it wasn't New York, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it was Carl Mullen was instrumental. I don't know. He used to work here at World Cafe Live, and he was the one who contacted me.
He was also Irish, was he not?
He contacted me on MySpace back in 2006.
He was from Ireland, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Is he still working here?
No.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
And he got in touch. I sent CDs to him, so he was instrumental in it all. He gave it to Bruce Warren and David Dye, and then I think somehow got to Nick Harcourt out in KCRW.
One more thing to thank Cora for.
I know.
So, you had a very successful fundraising campaign recently with Pledge Music for your latest release, This Time Around, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
This Time Around, which allowed for your fans and contributors to have some say in it. The artwork, tracks used. Can you tell us about that experience a little bit, and did they get it right?
Yeah, well, the first thing is, I think that because of the access so many people now have to recording technologies, because that's become more accessible, and also then to audiences. I think where you need to be creative, make music, but now you got to be creative also in the business side of it, because there's no one way to go about making a business out of music, you know. And we had seen a few people do this, and now it's become more and more popular, and it really worked for us, I have to say. I really liked all the contact we did have with fans, and I think you were referring to something we did that not everybody does, which is you could vote for which tracks would get on the album. That's what we did. Yeah, we did a vote just to make it even more fan participation orientated. So that was fun. It was it was hard to relinquish some of that control. So it was, yeah.
So do you think they got it right?
Do I think they got it right?
Any regrets? Or
yes, there's a song out of the 20 called Photograph Boys, and I was 100% sure that would be on the album, and it's not on the album. Yeah. I'm surprised. I think our fans have dreadful taste.
And you did record this album in Brooklyn. What's your affinity to that area of the world? You see they've spent a lot of time in Brooklyn. Yeah. I love Brooklyn, so...
Yeah, well, Brooklyn's become our new home. We were lucky enough to have the opportunity to open for Ingrid Michaelson back in 2010, and we did Coast to Coast with her, so we made great friends with her band, and actually her bass player, who was her bass player at the time, but he's an amazing producer called Chris Kuffner, and he's actually from Staten Island, but he's living in Brooklyn, and he produced the album, and he did an amazing job.
It's really a hotbed right now.
Yeah,
for
so happy
musicians
to
and
have met
artists.
him, you know.
It's a great area. I love it. And this time around was your first experience using a producer yourselves. How did that experience differ, and were there pros and cons?
Well, the pros were that when it's just myself and Mick, it's hard to be a democracy when two people have an equal vote, and then they vote off.
Because I'm always right.
So it really helped having a producer, because it actually made it quicker, because we wouldn't get stuck as often on.
So having the
vote breaker.
Yeah, we didn't sweat the small stuff.
Oh,
actually, that is exactly what we didn't do.
Yeah.
Well,
there was no sweating of the small stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you also had some really good guest vocalists. Lisa Broussard, who's a Philly fan favorite for sure. Katie Costello, is it?
Yeah.
And what was that like to have that input from other artists and
also
just vocally, because you guys are
Bess Rogers also, who
Bess Rogers.
yeah, she was also, we met her on the tour.
And
Chris,
Hannah
Chris
Winkler.
Cutler's wife. And Hannah Winkler, yeah, on Home.
I've forgotten the question now. What was the question?
Well, what was it like to have all, you know, those other voices? It's, you know, it's your voices, the two of you, and.
Well, we've always had guest vocals on our albums.
Yeah.
So
all 3 albums before have a girl on one song at least.
Yeah. So it wasn't a new.
So it wasn't too much of a.
No.
Well, these were the first songs that it was
A duet.
a straight up and up duet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was different.
Yeah.
And what song was that?
Madly, Deeply, and
All of them were Madly Deeply.
what name isn't really a...
Well, there's a point where there's only a girl singing.
You see why it
True.
probably
You
didn't
see
work.
why-
We need the producer.
Chris?
A while back, you,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's
So
okay.
you liked it. It was great. It was a great experience. A while back, you did a series of residencies, including the Tin Angel in Philly. How do you find that? Do you find that beneficial when you're showcasing new music or just trying stuff out? Like, what is the?
Well, the residency was fun for us back, because it was actually one of the first times we played with a full band here in the States, because we had, we call it the 2 Michael band. We are the 3 Michael band. We had Michael Thurber on bass and Michael Davis on drums. So it was a great way of just getting rehearsed and just getting the songs out there. That was during Universe's Laughing release, so it was fun. It was a lot
Was it
of
not
fun.
long ago already?
Yeah. That was about 3 years ago. Yeah.
Goes by quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
And you talked about being on tour with Ingrid Michaelson. You also toured with Ani DeFranco.
Yeah.
And those are like big, you know, big festivals and big giant crowds. Tin Angel, and tonight it's more of a listening room. What are your? Can you describe the 2 experiences and what you like about each or don't like about each? And what you
Well,
prefer?
I'd love to have the big crowd every time.
I want to play Wembley all the time. Every
Yeah,
night.
exactly. You know, I'm happy to go to any room that's got good sound, that has an appreciative audience, and that's tonight, you know. And but that's, you know, the experiences we had with both Annie and Ingrid were incredible. Like, we played in legendary venues, like in San Francisco, the Fillmore, and you know what? That's where we would like to be someday. Hopefully
Los
next
Angeles and
weekend.
Fillmore?
I think that might be wishful thinking next weekend, but you know, sometime soon. That's where, you know, that's why we're in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is for that. You know,
So you want to be like the next Elton John?
Mick does. I would prefer to be.
I like shoes.
You
can be
wasn't
out.
the best example, but I mean, you want to be huge.
Mm.
So the intimate crowd. I mean, do you not get
No, that's
off on that?
that's
where
not. We don't want to be huge. We just.
where you can see the impact that you're making, like right there instantly. With
Well,
your
this
connection.
is it. This is it. All right.
This is it? Are you
No,
sure this
I'm
is
gonna-
it?
This is one of the many answers that I have given or will give. Or it is it. It's like, it's a real treat to play in front of a huge audience, all right? Not just on the experience level, which is big, but on the money level as well. Like, you know what I mean? That's
I think
a great
we're missing
thing.
the point here.
No, we're not. And
We
the
are.
second part is,
We are.
this, is that, but that's not the be all and end all. For example, some of the best gigs I've ever had, which even beat Fillmore and all of those, are some house concerts that myself and Mick have played. Literally had a moment where you feel like you really had a special night there, unrepeatable, you know what I mean? So, it's not dependent on the size of the crowd, but at the same time, having a big crowd...
The way you use it. Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, it's the way you use it. Definitely the way. That's
think
what
that's
everyone
it.
says who
I think that's the
doesn't
answer.
have a big crowd.
We enjoy playing.
I know. Yeah. No, I get that. And I get that it's probably a different.
We sound a bit. I don't know. We want to be big and like we're not.
Well, you want to be Elton John then.
You like shoes.
And
I guess because you feed off the crowd no matter what venue you're in, whether you're Fillmore or the World Cafe Live. You're getting the energy back from
I'm
who
afraid
you're
we
reaching
come
out
across
to.
as being ungrateful for where we are, and which is
Never.
which
No.
is great. Okay.
No, not at all.
He's already a diva.
Well,
And
but he always. Just
Hey.
kidding. I love you. You know I love you. Oh God, I can't even read that question. I'm going to edit this for sure. Okay, do you remember? This is a fun question now. This is a fun portion of the show.
because all the rest is torturous.
What's the torture? And I don't know why I was nervous. I mean, I feel like I'm getting red. Anyway, do you remember the first piece of music that you heard when you were, little guys in little shorts going to school.
I actually remember the first...
Well, I didn't finish the question.
Well, okay, go on.
That made you say, I have got to do this. This is what I have to do with my life. But what were you going to answer too? Because I want to know what
The first piece of music I remember is the Grizzly Adams theme tune.
How did that go?
Honesty and majesty. You know, don't you? I can't remember it now. It was so long ago. But it was the...
It's okay.
Oh no, it was Hobo. Hang on.
You know it's in
I
there
can't remember.
because
You were very young.
Yeah, I was very young.
Don't beat
All right.
yourself up.
Yeah.
Grizzly Adams aside, when you're teenagers, whatever you are, that
I actually wanted to be Grizzly Adams.
You wanted to be good. Well, you got the beard
Yeah.
going on.
I know.
Come on, this is
What's the name of the
serious journalism going on here.
What was the name of the
bear
bear?
didn't have a name.
Yes, it
The bear did have a name. Was it a woman's name?
No,
I don't know.
you didn't watch that show at all.
It was the first piece of music I heard. Was the theme tune. I didn't say I watched it.
It was Ben.
How old were you?
Bear
You're
was
thinking of
called
Gentleman.
Ben.
Oh, Gentle Ben, that's a different, I think he's confusing his
You're confusing
bears.
the Gentleman.
I'm confusing it with Gentleman.
Fail. Fail. I don't
There's a
think the bear had a
place.
name.
No, I didn't like that, is it?
Something like that. Anyway, what was the question?
I forget. The first piece of music that moved you to the point where you said, I'm not going to school, I'm going to be a rock star.
That's when I played that song I wrote for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually never had that moment. Maybe Kat did.
No, to be honest with you, I didn't have that moment either. What I did have was, myself and Mick went to singer-songwriter nights in Dublin, and it was a really, I suppose everybody looks back and says, but it felt like a really golden age in that Glenn Hansard was going to these things, Damien Dempsey was, Mundy, Paddy Casey, these are names that are
So
people
were
that
you
are very
not? You were
established.
not little lads. You were in your 40s
early
years.
20s. Yeah.
And what it is, it's not that you hear a piece and go, oh, I'm going to do that. It's that you like writing songs, you go out, you become a part of a community, and then you see, oh, I'm sharing the stage with these guys, and that guy's got a successful career. Maybe we can do it. That's kind of what happened for me over time.
But who did you listen to growing up? Like, who was constantly on your
Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams for you? Yeah.
Leonard Cohen was the first time I listened to something, a songwriter, and said, I want to write songs like that. Not that I want to make a career out of it, but I want to try and write a song like that.
You write some pretty amazing songs.
He does. So.
No, I meant you.
Oh.
You do. You really do.
Thank you.
Who's exciting to you right now? Who's doing it for you now? Do you have a...
Kevin, he writes amazing stuff.
Yeah, besides the two of you?
I like a guy called, I'm going to get his name now, Michael Kiwanuka.
Kiwanuka. He's amazing.
He is amazing.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. Old school.
Yeah.
Old school. This is your first night of your tour. You're going to be out for how long?
I'm not sure. It's kind of the weekends we're doing. We're kind of
a lot of driving around, a lot of
satelliting
traveling.
out of New York, so it's not really a tour.
So you have a hub.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like Fridays.
This next
Saturdays,
question,
isn't it?
I want to know what you did during your downtime.
We're in New York.
There's no
Yeah, we're
downtime.
actually recording. I just moved into an apartment with we have a space for a studio, so it's very exciting. Finally, a place where we can record and call home.
I want to come and visit. All right, so this is probably wrapping it up. I was going to ask you what your favorite city to perform in is, but I'm pretty sure the answer is Philadelphia.
It will be New York, yeah. I mean, sorry, Philadelphia. Where are we? Philly.
I know that the new album, the people who contributed, they have that music, right?
Mm.
When is it going to be available, and
Well,
how can everyone else get it?
That's like how long is a piece of string, because we don't...
How long is a piece of string?
Yeah.
We'll start with that.
It's about halfway from the middle, times two.
Yeah, it's probably about that.
Halfway to the middle times two.
I think we don't know, because we have released the last 3 albums independently, and at the moment we're courting and wooing to see can we release this one in a different way, because we did a lot of different things differently this time, working with a producer, and we did the crowd-funded thing, so we're going to see, we really think it's going to be a great album, so we want to make sure we give it a proper release, a bigger release, not proper, that's the wrong word.
Halfway to the middle times 2 is only to the half.
Well,
Sorry.
halfway to the middle times 2 is the full length.
Halfway to the middle times 2 is to the middle.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah, you see. Anyway, thank God Chris was on the album, huh?
Yeah, that is awesome. So we have this wait.
Yes, is the short answer. You have to wait and we don't know.
You can edit all that string conversation.
Oh, no, absolutely not. That's the good
Mixed
stuff.
string
It's
theory.
not string theory.
Well, thanks very much for taking the time in this beautiful green room that's actually rust color.